Does it feel like every influencer is trying to sell you something right now? More than 80% of Gen Z and millennials say that an endorsement from an influencer would have at least some form of influence over their purchase. And according to insider intelligence, influencer marketing is a $6 billion industry, which is an astronomical amount of power. So I'm going to share the ways I've seen that influencers, whether consciously or subconsciously, get you to spend money. I'm going to start with the only category in this video that is specific to beauty, and that's the use of beauty filters. And while this may not be a strategy that is consciously used by creators to get people to spend money, the use of a beauty filter makes it appear that the person has perfect skin, perfect everything, and so then the products they're endorsing seem like they work a lot better than they do. One example of this is Tati Westbrook. You can't see a single pore or imperfection on her face, and I think it really distorts the reality of how she actually looks. Now, this is a super obvious one to me. I think most consumers could probably tell that there's some type of blurring effect going on here, but some beauty filters and smoothing filters have gotten so undetectable that it's pretty much impossible for a regular person to determine if they're using a filter or not. I don't even follow beauty accounts on my TikTok, but so often I'll be scrolling on my feed and I will see women that just look absolutely perfect, poreless, they don't have any acne, they don't have any fine lines and wrinkles, their tone is super even, and their makeup looks perfect. I mean, I've been doing makeup for most of my life and I can never get my makeup to look like theirs. And I just think to myself, like, God, what is wrong with me? And so often I forget that the filters are undetectable, that I don't even realize that they're there. And I'll leave a recent video about beauty trends I want to dye where I went into more detail about the actual harmful effects of using beauty filters. But for the purpose of this video, I think that beauty filters are problematic because you see these women and the makeup that they're wearing or the clothes that they're wearing, and they look so good that they make you want to buy what they're consuming, whether it's, a new skincare product and their skin just looks amazing, but you don't know that there's a filter. That's really deceptive marketing for consumers. But I also understand that a lot of those influencers are doing it because they themselves are just so deeply insecure and they feel like they have to do that in order to put content out there. So it's just this terrible cycle of self-esteem.
Just woke up. This is not what I look like right now. This filter should be illegal. Here's the real me. Oh my gosh.
It's the new face filter raising eyebrows, literally, on TikTok.
I'm gonna take this off to show you what I actually look like. Trigger warning.
It's called Bold Glamour Filter, and it turns anyone into a supermodel.
Beauty filters like the Bold Glamour filter on TikTok are so prevalent, it makes people look like they're wearing makeup when they're actually wearing absolutely nothing. That's how advanced the technology is. And some influencers will actually be purposefully deceitful in this, where they will film their video with the Bold Glamour filter or any kind of beauty filter on, then they'll download that video from their TikTok and then they'll re-upload it so that users can't see that they had a filter in the first place. There are several beauty content creators I can think of on YouTube alone that use some type of smoothing filter or a blurring setting on their camera, and those are the people that I will never buy a product from, especially if it's a skincare or a complexion product. The use of beauty filters isn't something that influencers are necessarily using to directly promote sales and get people to spend money, but I do believe that that's just a byproduct of that. And I personally believe that in beauty, you have a moral obligation to show your real skin. And the rest of the categories just apply to all influencers in general, regardless of the vertical. And the most obvious one would be not disclosing paid partnerships. I think Kylie Jenner is the most obvious example of this. I don't think I've ever seen her properly disclose an ad ever on her content. There is not a single call out to the fact that this is a paid partnership, and it obviously is given the fact that she tagged the brand 3 times in a row. According to marketing firm Media Kicks, 32 of the top 50 celebrities did some form of paid content with a brand, and of those posts, 93% did not meet the FTC guidelines for sponsorships. But there are just so many people of influence who know that they can push that line and they can get away with it, and they're actively taking advantage of their audience. And this works because of the parasocial relationship that we have with celebrities and influencers. They're able to convince their audience that their love of the product is genuine. They know that a lot of their audience trusts them. They know that a lot of their audience has buying power. And by not following the FTC guidelines or doing some form at least of disclosing the ad, they know that they're going to have a higher likelihood of getting more sales because people have an inherent distrust of ads and paid content. I mean, speaking from someone who does sponsorships all the time, when you properly disclose your videos, oftentimes you get less views. People immediately click away if they see that it's sponsored. And sometimes it's not malicious intent where they're actively trying to deceive their audience, although sometimes I do think it is. Sometimes people are just lazy, they know that they can get away with it. They may genuinely love the product and they just want it to appear more authentic, but either way, it doesn't really matter because you're breaking the rules. Keep in mind that every country has their own regulations, and I'm in the US, so I'm gonna share the FTC guidelines. According to the FTC, for podcasts, YouTube videos, and Vimeo videos, you must verbally state that your content is sponsored, and you have to disclose the partnership with hashtag ad, hashtag paid partnership, or hashtag sponsorship, and it cannot be at the bottom bottom of the caption. It has to be at the top. For live streams, you must verbally disclose the sponsorship repeatedly throughout the video so that if new people are coming in, they know that it's sponsored. For static images like Instagram pictures on a feed, you have to do hashtag ad, hashtag paid partnership, or hashtag sponsorship. In the caption, it has to be at the top of the caption, not all the way at the bottom. For temporary images and videos like Instagram stories that expire, you have to do one of those hashtags. A lot of influencers take advantage of this by using hashtag partner instead of ad, paid partnership, or sponsorship. Here are some examples of large beauty influencers who are taking advantage of the term partner, which according to FTC guidelines does not properly disclose an ad.
Hi guys, Prime Day starts today. Prime is literally my fave.
As you can see on this TikTok, the paid partnership label is added at the bottom, which is great, but the hashtag does not follow the FTC guidelines. The creator is just using the term partner, which is not allowed.
Look at the difference. This mascara is truly insane.
With this creator, you can see the term Maybelline partner, which again does not properly disclose an ad, and there's no paid partnership label at the bottom, just hashtag Maybelline partner in the caption.
My face base must have never looked better because the amount of comments I have been getting in person and online to tell you what I've been using.
This creator doesn't use any disclosure other than hashtag partner, which again does not follow the FTC guidelines. According to the FTC, you have to use simple language that is easy for someone to understand that it's a paid partnership. So the use of words like ad, sponsorship, and paid partnership, that's clear. But the term partner is not clear enough because it leaves room for interpretation. And this may seem obvious to a lot of you who've been watching beauty content for a long time, those of you who are especially critical of influencers who don't properly disclose their ads, but for young viewers or people who don't consume a lot of content, that can be really confusing, and it definitely takes advantage of them.
Oh my god, this is insane! Somehow you guys managed to make the Tia Tia Mask Fit Red Cushion Foundation the #1 selling foundation on Amazon.
This creator is using Instagram's paid partnership label at the top, but if you scroll to the bottom in the caption, you can see that the hashtags are just not clear enough. And this is after the brand bought her a Birkin bag and paid for a trip to Korea, so it definitely feels a little bit purposefully misleading, not doing the proper disclosures. Here we can see Gigi Hadid doing a paid partnership for Maybelline. She did add the paid partnership label at the top, but she has zero disclosures in the caption, not even hashtag partner.
As you guys know, I have been obsessed with these products the past couple of months. I have not stopped talking about them ever since I first tried them.
Yet another TikTok that only uses hashtag partner, except this time the creator said, "I'm partnered up with," verbally in the video, which still leaves too much room for interpretation. And then yet another Kylie Jenner ad, which is blatantly a paid partnership with zero disclosures whatsoever. In 2022, Kim Kardashian was fined $1.2 million by the SEC for not properly disclosing a crypto partnership, and now she's banned from talking about crypto for the next 3 years. While that's the SEC and not the FTC, I do hear that the FTC is starting to crack down on regulations, but I don't see any consequences yet, and I've been hearing that rumor for quite a few years. I do feel like consumers are starting to get smarter about paid partnerships, and they do understand when something is an ad and when it's not being properly disclosed, but I don't believe it should be the audience's responsibility to figure that out themselves. Another tactic that influencers use to get you to spend money is giving everything a positive review. When an influencer consistently posts positive reviews, it leads to more awareness for the brand, it leads to a better relationship with the brand, more likelihood of staying on their PR list and receiving free products, higher likelihood of getting paid content from the brand. Overall, there's just significantly more opportunity if you're an influencer who posts a lot of positive reviews. I feel like I should probably add a disclaimer that I'm aware some people are going to think it's hypocritical for me to be talking about this subject because I am an influencer, especially one in the beauty space. But that's exactly why I think it's important. Being someone who is both a consumer of content and someone who creates it, I feel like I'm generally more aware because I've been exposed to so much on social media, and I wanted to share that information with you so that anyone who watches this video can just make better informed choices. According to a survey conducted by Bright Local, 91% of consumers read online reviews and 84% trust online reviews just as much as a personal recommendation. That is huge. To quote Adenike Fapahunda's article on the problem with influencers, influencers are supposedly different from traditional celebrities in that our attachment to them is not based on their perceived superiority, but in their similarity to us. They trigger our homophily, our tendency to create social ties with people who remind us of us. Influencers have erased the metaphorical fourth wall. By sharing so many of what we presume to be their most intimate moments, we're brought into the fold of their personal lives, resulting in our relationships with influencers being more intense than they would be with regular celebrities. That's why an influencer's positive review has so much weight behind it, because the parasocial relationship that viewers have with that content creator and the level of trust that exists. I oftentimes find that the biggest influencers in the beauty space are the ones leaving the most positive reviews, noticeably for the brands that they work with all the time. And they almost never leave negative reviews about any products from the brands that they work with, but they'll leave negative reviews for brands that they don't actively work with. And I know for a fact that that's a choice. T-Spill recently did a great video about how brands bribe influencers with luxurious gifts and luxurious vacations, and that definitely has a direct correlation with how the influencer is going to talk about their products.
And some people do see this as a brand just being grateful for your support
support and thanking you for the sales you brought in for them, but others see it as a way for a brand to ensure you never speak negatively about them. If a brand spent $10,000 on you buying you this nice bag, you might feel a little bit weird turning around the next month and trashing a product if you genuinely don't like it.
For example, Michaela has been gifted a Cartier bracelet, a Birkin bag, international vacations, and other ludicrously expensive gifts from the brands that she works with, and I personally have yet to see her speak negatively about those brands afterwards.
You guys know how much I love hot dogs. That's why I'm so excited to announce I'm in Ibiza this week with Oscar Mayer celebrating their launch of their brand new uncured beef wieners.
Honestly, that was a little too accurate. I personally think as people that we're inherently trusting, at least I am, and I think we've all purchased something or multiple items from influencers or celebrities that were recommended to us. A recent study actually found that 82% of people are more likely to buy something if it's recommended by someone that they know, and given what we understand about parasocial relationships with influencers, viewers oftentimes feel like they know the content creator. If influencers are getting really expensive gifts and going on lavish vacations, can we really trust them to give their honest opinion on the products after that?
Listen, if I see one more big influencer come on here and say that a product is life-changing, it's to die for, it's a game changer, knowing they probably just got that product in the mail yesterday, they probably just opened that product today, they haven't even used it yet, they're going to come on here and try to fool their millions of followers into buying a $60 skincare item, even though just yesterday, the week before that, they were saying that some new skincare product was game-changing and cleared all their acne. Like, girl, you are saying this every single week.
Now, to play devil's advocate, I do have a lot of friends who just are not very discerning. They have great makeup skills. They can get almost every product to work from them. They like a wide range of colors and textures. Like, I have a ton of friends who just almost like everything, and I'm kind of known in our friend group as the person who likes nothing. Most things in life are not black and white. I think we all want everything to be good or bad, black or white, but most things live in the gray area. So just because someone gives a lot of positive reviews, that doesn't mean that they're all fake and that they're actively trying to be deceptive to their audience. But I wanted to share this because it is a little bit of a red flag for me, and it's something that I encourage you to think about, as media literacy is something that's somewhat lacking these days. I think it's important to just keep these things in the back of your mind. If someone is just constantly leaving positive reviews, maybe take their reviews with a little bit more of a grain of salt. And if perhaps you're a new content creator and you're like, okay, well, that's all great in theory, but how do I manage having a positive relationship with brands while also sharing my authentic feedback? And I would say being upfront with them and saying that you're trying to build a brand that's based around authenticity, that it's really important to build trust with your audience, and that you believe by doing that, you'll have a bigger impact on sales, or you'll have a bigger trust, a better awareness of the brand, however you want to communicate it. Those are things that I talk about with the brands that I work with so that they understand my number one priority is the trust of my audience. My number one priority is remaining authentic to my opinions. And then you'll get the brands that value that. And I think that's personally more important. One of the most widespread but probably subtle tactics that influencers use to get you to spend money is constantly promoting sales, discounts, and coupon codes.
Welcome to today's video. We're going to talk about Prime Day. It is almost here. Tomorrow is Prime.
These are the top 50 Amazon Prime Day 2024 deals. Ready, set, go.
Hi everyone, Renee here with my Amazon Prime Day picks.
Amazon Prime Day is here yet again.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today is Amazon Prime Day.
Happy Prime Day too.
Happy Prime Day, y'all.
Now, this isn't necessarily malicious or problematic, but I do think that it's something that consumers need to understand, especially if they're prone to shopping impulses. And, you know, from an influencer perspective, I frankly think it's stupid to just leave free money on the table. If you share affiliate links and affiliate codes, that's basically no work, but you can get a cut of someone's order. I mean, why wouldn't you do that? The issue for me is when you have a content creator who is constantly shoving sales and coupon codes down your throat. And I know that's not only as an influencer, but as a consumer, as someone who's been consuming beauty content for what, 15 plus years? When I'm following someone who is constantly telling me about all the product discounts, all the latest sales, it just makes me want to buy something because I want that deal. I don't want to spend the full price on something. And I find that I'm always so much more prone to sharing money if I'm following someone who is just constantly shoving sales down my throat. So while it's not inherently malicious, I do think it's important for people who are prone to shopping impulses or people who are younger viewers to just have in the back of their minds and think about who you're following. Because while content creators have a responsibility to be authentic and sort of conscious about these things, it also does fall on the audience or the viewer to curate who you're following. And what you may not know is that brands oftentimes increase commissions by a pretty significant amount during sale periods, which is why you will suddenly out of nowhere see so so many creators sharing the same sale. And it is a symbiotic relationship because on one end, the content creator is excited that they get to earn a little bit of commission, and the consumer is excited because they get to save some money. But for people who are prone to shopping impulses, it can be a slippery slope when you're following someone who is just constantly promoting sales, especially if they're using language in those posts that can trigger shopping impulses. And this is a tactic that really bothers me. Whether consciously or subconsciously, influencers can get you to spend money by using language that triggers shopping impulses. It creates a sense of urgency. It includes heightened emotions or heightened reactions, and it kind of makes you feel like you're missing out if you don't try this product. And that is called FOMO marketing.
You need this all-in-one serum in your life.
This is the product you need.
Amazon products you need this summer.
This is the gloss bomb stick you need to buy. Let me show you why.
Hailey Bieber has done it again, you guys. These are the new pocket blushes. I am so excited for these. I'm obsessed. You guys need to try out Bosma Beauty.
Run, do not walk.
Random products that I'm obsessed with. I would fight someone for any of these.
And I'm going to talk about this both from the influencer and the brand side because both use this all the time. On the influencer side, the most frequent language I see is, I'm obsessed, run, don't walk, you need this in every color. Or facial expressions like the influencer shock face. They apply a highlighter and they're like, oh, do you guys see this? That kind of thing is supposed to trigger an emotion in you, that sensationalized kind of reaction. It's just a no for me. As soon as I see someone do that, I scroll right by. I hate that.
I'm gonna show you guys some makeup essentials you need in your life at Target, since y'all love the last one so much.
Top 5 skincare products you need.
Hello, my gorgeous beauty constituents. Let's talk about things that I'm obsessed with for your under eye.
Like a lot of the other tactics in this video, this isn't something that influencers are doing to necessarily directly get you to spend money, but I do believe that that's a byproduct. And it's really the way that viewers and the algorithm respond to those types of language and facial expressions that get influencers to keep doing it. Videos will get more views if there is some heightened emotional reaction in the video. That's just how it goes. Viewers are more likely to click on a thumbnail that has a bigger facial expression. They're more likely to click on a title that's a little bit more clickbaity. And when the influencer is giving something such a positive, glowing review where it's like, oh my God, this is the best thing I've ever tried, audiences are so much more likely to buy that product. Because as humans, we have a fear of missing out. On the brand side, they might use language as like, hurry, sale ends soon, run, don't walk, limited time only, last minute offer, final chance, products low in stock.
Saturday, these two together will be 60% off. We're doing flash sales. I'm going to show you how to use everything. We're going to talk about it, hang out. There will be giveaways. It'll be a good time. You don't want to miss this. Incredible savings.
They might have a countdown clock. Amazon does that a lot. They might have banners or, like sale prices in red showing the discount, or they can use language like flash sale, today only, things like that.
This product right here is seriously like veneers in a bottle. Honestly, if I was a person who made this, I would charge way more than what this costs. I saw a girl talking about this and how amazing her results are, so I had to get my hands on it.
On both the influencer and the brand side, they can have language that really just heightens the experience of a product, like saying, this is plastic surgery in a bottle.
I also have hopped on this and it is so good. It's like plastic surgery in a bottle.
I mean, I immediately perk up when I hear that. I want plastic surgery in a bottle. I don't want plastic surgery. I'd rather buy a skincare product. But the reality is that's just not possible. There's no such thing as plastic surgery in a bottle. FOMO marketing is all about making the consumers strongly feel that if they don't buy now, they'll regret it later. And that is absolutely a conscious psychological tactic.
Run, don't walk. Restock with me. Stop aging for good. Skin, skin, skin.
So again, like in life, things aren't necessarily just good or bad or black or white. This is not inherently bad, but it's something that can be very effective as a sales tactic on the brand and the influencer side. And it's just something you should keep in the back of your mind as a consumer, especially if you struggle with shopping impulses. Another byproduct of influencer behavior that encourages audiences to spend money is that they oftentimes agree to do an ad before they even try the product. And this is an issue, obviously, because sometimes they try the product and they end up not liking it, and then they're contractually obligated to talk about it. This happened to me at the beginning of my Instagram page. A very popular brand reached out to me and said that they wanted to send me like 15 products and I would do an ad just showcasing about 4 of them. I agreed to the ad, I signed the contract, they sent me all the products, and I ended up not liking a single one. I was kind of able to get around it by saying these products would be great if you have dry skin, if you like thinner formulas, but that just felt really uncomfortable and icky to me. And ever since then, I made a rule. I have to try the product, not just before signing a contract, but before even agreeing to do an ad. And one of the reasons why I work with mostly indie brands is because most of the larger brands require you to agree to sign the contract before they even send you the products, because from their perspective, they have so many influencers who they could work with, so many influencers who will just immediately agree to do that ad without trying the products. They don't really care about following some random influencer's rules. They'd rather just work with someone who's super easy. I remember one time a brand's agency sent me an email and they wanted me to give them pricing for like 9 different pieces of content that were all different, and they sent it to me on one day and they said they needed all the pricing and to know if I was going to move forward within 24 hours, which is absolutely insane. And it's mostly problematic when the brands are working with an agency and the agency is acting as the middleman, because they just have a roster of influencers to choose from and you really have no ability to even communicate with the brand about your feelings, about, if you have channel values, feelings about authenticity. It's just, what are your prices? Do you want to accept this ad? Yes or no? And that's how about 50% at least of the opportunities that come across my email look like. And obviously this is problematic because content creators are agreeing to do ads for products they haven't even tried. And even if they end up loving them, they don't know that. They don't know that they're going to love those products. So it just feels purposely deceptive to me, and I just don't like it. Another way that influencers can get you to spend money is by convincing you that you need to participate in viral trends in order to be relevant or cool. Like a lot of the other categories in this video, this isn't necessarily something that is intentionally done to create sales, but is definitely a result of constantly promoting trends and the next viral sensation. For the most part, influencers try to capitalize off of viral trends for views and engagement. But oftentimes a side effect of that is the audience wants to participate in that trend. They want to fit in at school, they want to fit in with their friends, and they see that that's the trend on TikTok, so they want to buy the products that help them participate in that trend. But what they're forgetting is that a lot of these content creators, like myself, get those products for free that allow them to participate in those trends. So while this isn't something that is necessarily directly used as a sales tool, it can definitely be a side effect of it. One example is the viral cold girl makeup trend. For beauty content creators like me, I have a very robust collection. If there's a new trend, I can just look in my collection and pull something out that fits the trend. But for the average consumer who doesn't have a lot of products, they might have to go out and actually buy something to participate in the cold girl makeup trend, whether it's the silver sparkly glittery eyeshadow or it's like the berry toned blush. Think of how many micro trends we've seen recently, like the cold girl makeup trend. We've got the mob boss wife aesthetic, the clean girl aesthetic, Barbie makeup, tomato girl makeup, fake freckles. There's just so many different micro trends that have come and gone. When I think about my experience in high school from 2004 to 2008, I wanted to fit in. I wanted to be liked. Everybody was wearing the low-rise jeans, these huge belts, statement necklaces, like double popped collars. Everybody wore black eyeliner, and then getting into college, people had peplum tops. They had all these ballet flats. And at the time, I definitely thought a lot of that was ugly, but I so desperately wanted to fit in that I bought all the shit. I can't even imagine what it would be like growing up today in the age of unregulated social media, feeling so much pressure to fit in just the sheer amount of consumption involved just to show your peers that you're relevant and like what's going on. And I have some stats for you. 15% of young people have bought something on TikTok in the past 2 months. And this rises to 20% of 16 to 17-year-olds and 24% for Gen Z women. Our culture is one of ultra consumerism, and in order to participate in trends, you gotta pay to play. So a byproduct of influencers constantly participating in these micro trends is getting young, impressionable viewers or people with shopping impulses to want to participate in those trends and then buy the products that allow them to do that. And lastly, one of the most effective but subtle ways that influencers get you to spend money is by promoting an aspirational lifestyle, especially one that is just not attainable for the average person. We see all the cool shit that celebrities and influencers have, and that breeds discontentment in our own lives. We fixate on buying the thing that will make us feel glamorous, buying the thing to participate in the hobby that makes us feel relevant. We want the things that the celebrities and influencers have because we feel like if we have some of those things, our lives will just be better or easier and we'll feel more confident and we'll be happier. Shopping for those items will just give us that quick dopamine hit that we're looking for. But I know from personal experience that nothing feels better than financial stability. And I speak from personal experience when I say there was an extended period of my life where I was living paycheck to paycheck. And that was the period when I was the most fixated on trying to make my life appear similar to these celebrities and influencers. It's just not normal for the average person to go on super frequent vacations, fly first class, wear designer clothes, attend fashion shows, go to the best restaurants in the world, and basically live the life of a celebrity. But because we see so many influencers who have that life, we feel like it's something that we should have too. And there are a lot of influencers, by the way, who actually will go broke trying to emulate this lifestyle and make it appear like they have this really lavish, amazing life, when on the back end, they're completely bankrupting themselves trying to have that image.
Scientifically proven that hot girls have productive morning routines. Just kidding, I have no idea if that's true. But I do feel the most productive when I have a morning routine. So step one, skincare.
I oftentimes get sucked into these lifestyle videos where everything looks perfectly organized and curated and beautiful and prepared for the day. And I'm an influencer and I'm very aware of these impulses. When I see content from women who roll out of bed early in the morning looking stunning with perfect skin, they take their hair out of their overnight heatless curls, they make their iced matcha and have a balanced, healthy breakfast before hitting their yoga mat for stretching and a light workout and some meditation. Then they get a facial, they walk their dog, they go grocery shopping at Erewhon. And I see all that and I call bullshit. I don't think that there's anyone who actually has a life like that, or at least I refuse to believe that there are people who are actually looking that peaceful and that beautiful every day. I refuse to believe it. They are specifically curating an image, a fantasy lifestyle that is intended to be a fantasy. It's just that.
Hi guys, hopping on super quick. I just ran home from an appointment. I had a facial and then I'm running to get my hair done after this. Just such a busy day filled with so many errands. Like, I just wanted to hop on and say, hi, I'm here. A lot of you are probably like at work, at your desk job, typing away. And I know you've been like refreshing and been like, where are you? It's just been a crazy day around here. It's been super busy with all these things, and
the majority of us have 9-to-5 jobs. The majority of us have a lot of bills to pay. We have mouths to feed. There's stressors in our lives, and we just don't have the freedom to be wandering around getting facials and shopping all day. That's just not life. That's not real. These types of influencers normalize unnecessary spending, having super lavish beauty routines, and they glamorize really the mundane. They make us want to buy all the things they have, their silk pajamas, their high quality matcha, their fancy groceries, their expensive workout outfits. And we think that for one moment, if we buy those things, we will have that lifestyle, that we will look that perfect in that outfit, that we will feel that great, that we'll wake up looking that beautiful in the morning. And that's just not the reality of life, because I don't think it's even their reality. You have to remember that behind the scenes, they're setting up the lighting, they're setting up the shot to make it look perfect. Everything is curated. Take Nara Smith, for example.
My toddlers asked me for candy this morning, specifically the peach and apple ring gummies. I decided to just make them some. I started by blanching some peaches.
Her content makes it seem like she has this easy, beautiful life as a mother of 3 young children. She cooks practically everything from scratch in a calm, peaceful, serene environment and in these haute couture designer clothes. And don't get me wrong, I actually love her TikToks and sometimes I watch them to fall asleep at night. I think the content is great, but it's a fantasy. The TikTok account Be Better is one of my favorites. He recently did a video about Nara Smith and the deception of the fantasy.
It is a highly engineered form of fiction. And in a perfect world, we would all consume Nara Smith's content and enjoy it the same way we enjoy a movie, understanding that it's fake. But unfortunately, the subconscious mind, even when it's watching a film, doesn't understand the difference between reality and fiction. That's why we feel emotionally connected to characters. That's why we get scared during horror movies, or why we cry during a romantic comedy. But this degree of separation between fiction and reality is even slimmer when we're watching social media content, because there are elements of reality.
We look up to these influencers who create these beautiful, healthy, home-cooked meals. They make everything look so enjoyable, and we want to feel that. I want to feel that, but it's not real and it's not attainable for the average person. It's a fantasy, and it's supposed to be. And social media promotes an everything new now, all the time mentality, where if there's a new hobby, we have to run out and buy all of the pieces and things that we need for that hobby, rather than starting with like one little thing. But what is gonna make us truly happy is not constantly spending money on all these frivolous hobbies and lifestyles. It's financial stability and financial freedom.
I even tell myself that most people I see online are used car salesmen. And remember, they're usually selling a dream, a product, or both. Makes it way easier for me to function through life.
Spend your money thoughtfully and consume content thoughtfully. Because with all of this said, while influencers should have a responsibility to think about their audiences, it's also on the viewers to be aware of the media that they're consuming and think about how it affects their spending habits and their self-worth. Unfollow all the creators you need to unfollow, even if it's me. Uninstall the apps that make you scroll endlessly or make you prone to shopping. It's just not worth it.
Don't be a rich girl aesthetic, be a rich girl.
And that's what I want to leave you with today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll leave my beauty products you think you need but don't video if you want to keep watching my content. And if you made it this far, thank you so much. I appreciate each and every one of you, and I'll see you in the next one.